What's up, everybody? Here I am again, fucking 2 o'clock in the morning at night, here to make another video, talk about some things. Got some Fallout New Vegas gameplay in the background. I should probably start, like, just pre-recording gameplay and, voicing it over, because it's kind of hard to talk and play at the same time. But I kind of like how, it works out. I can kind of just walk around and jump around and shit and just shoot things while talking. Makes it a little easier, but at the same time, it's hard to lock in on the game. It makes it easy to talk, though. So the topic of the day is, how I learned to appreciate the small things in life and let the past go. But, it's something I still struggle with, something I'm still, trying to figure out. But I think I do have some good words of advice that I can give maybe one of you out there. Maybe one of you can take something away from this that'll help. So in the past, I've dealt with a lot of mental health and, you know, thoughts of suicide, depression, whatnot, whatever you want to call it. And going through that whole ordeal, like being hospitalized, put in the psych ward a couple times and whatnot, it really helped me understand how to appreciate the small things in life and not worry about, things that may be super impactful to you and your character, you know what I mean? Things that'll affect you negatively. The best way to do that, I think, is just trying to appreciate, day by day, the smell of the air, the cool breeze outside, the trees fluttering in the wind, or maybe something an old lady tells you at a restaurant one day. But, I wouldn't say I'm a big advocate for, uh, hospitalizing people. I mean, I know some people need it. I definitely did. I was trying to, hurt myself and whatnot, but I think it's a very good thing because some of the things they teach you in there is actually shit that I still carry, with myself to this day. Like, trying to appreciate the small things when you can. So, you know, kind of onto how I learned how to appreciate the small things. I will say it can be kind of hard to do if you're a real emotional person, but those bad scenarios you may find yourself in, bad times, bad headspaces, that is really what does it for you. That really shows you, when things are good, you have to appreciate it. When love is in the air, when love's around you, um, when you're having a good time, you catch yourself smiling out, with friends or family or whatnot. You really have to cherish those moments. Kind of the way I do that is you kind of have to try to be conscious of the present, which I know is really hard for people that that suffer from depression, anxiety, whatnot, because you're constantly thinking about the bad things. You're constantly in the past or thinking about the future, worrying about the future. But as you know, continue on in your journey towards, self help, getting out of your slump or whatnot, you kind of find it easier to appreciate the little things in life, like the sunsets, uh, sunlight on your skin, breeze in your face. There's so many little things about every day that I feel like people fail to realize are just beautiful and can really impact your mental health in a good way, to say the least. Even if it's not environmental factors in your life, maybe you can find yourself appreciating the time you have with your family. Whether y'all go to a restaurant or whatnot. It's like me. It's like often nowadays, like I used to just I would either think about what's to come or something that happened in the past. Like it was no getting past it for me. But as I've been through those dark times, it's been way easier to focus on the good times because you've heard the saying there's no light without darkness. it's like when my mom offers, take me to lunch that day or whatnot. I I try to be purely just focused on that moment alone. How I'm feeling, if I'm smiling, if I'm just having a good time, honestly. And I feel like that, like finding appreciation for just any little small occurrence, small moment, it's really helpful. And having hope for something, even if it's, oh, I'm fucked. I didn't go to school. I didn't do anything with my life, this and that. But that's okay because I know tomorrow will be a good day. Me and my mom are going to lunch. Me and my sister are going, out to the lake or something. And like I said, the only really way you can truly understand that and appreciate it is if you've been in those dark places before. Like, those who know what I'm talking about know exactly what I mean. So one thing, that helps me do that is in my head. I'm constantly repeating to myself, control your reactions. Control your reactions to things. Don't let shit that doesn't matter get to you, especially when you're having a good time. I used to constantly ruin my good times with, worrying about what's to come or thinking about people that fucked me over, bad situations I've been in, and it's just not good for you. And another thing I've realized is sometimes I'll catch myself just staring off into the sky at the sunset, staring off into the trees blowing in the wind, staring off at a tumbleweed. I live out in the desert, not very many trees out here. Staring off into, a tumbleweed rolling around the ground, just thinking, where's all the places that this tumbleweed has been. And it may sound stupid, but it's being conscious in the present moment that is very important because there is no appreciating the present without being conscious during it and understanding that, you know, you're not in this current moment, you're not who those people said you were or made you out to be or who you may think you are. You're just a guy or a lady out touching the grass, feeling the wind on their skin, this and that. I don't know. You kind of just have to realize life is more than what you think about yourself. This earth and life itself is way bigger than you are. Yeah, you just have to be conscious and realize that, the present moment is not bad. Whatever bad shit may happen or has happened, that's not you right now. Say for me, I'm sitting here talking to a microphone, just walking around the wasteland. Nothing bad's happening. I just got fucked up by some NCR, but nothing bad's happening, and I appreciate that. And honestly, I don't know why I made making this video, but I don't really know too much how to explain it. But I do know if you haven't gone through bad enough times in your life yet to understand what I'm saying and to appreciate the small moments, then this video is just not for you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing is learning how to be conscious and control your reactions to things is another big thing I'm, learning recently. It's like in my head, I constantly repeat to myself, control your reactions. Don't let it get to you. Don't get upset. Don't get mad. Don't get sad. Look at the brighter side of things. And it can be very hard to do sometimes. I'm not saying any of this is easy, but it's definitely applicable and doable with practice. Kind of about like same topic as my first video. I feel like as humans we kind of just have a habit of not being able to be conscious and control how we feel. And that's all what mental health is about. Obviously, like feeling a certain way, negative way that's beyond your control. And to me, at least how it was for me, the only way to get better in that aspect of your life is through practice. Practicing, reminding yourself, setting reminders. Shit, I even have like some tattoos on my body that when I look at them, they're just, I got them because it's a reminder of what I need to be focused on. You know, the only way to form a habit is to repetitively do that specific thing over and over again. Whether that is, you know, telling yourself over and over again it's gonna be okay, or telling yourself over and over again it's beyond my control. I'm better than that. I think a big part of, well, I know a big part of controlling your reactions and how you feel in the present moment is has a lot to do with self control. In the past, I didn't have very much self control over my, you know, thoughts and emotions, and I used to lash out, crash out, I guess, you know, as they say. But as I've gotten older, you know, and been through more life, 21 years of life, I've just practiced, and practiced, and gotten way better at being present in, you know, the present moment. Because for years and years, I've been trying to tell myself that, you know, nothing's as big as this moment, right here, right now. Nothing I could do will outweigh this in the future or the past. And now the future may hold big things, the past may hold big things. I don't know, because I don't know those people right now. All I know is myself in this present moment. You know, it's like I don't I don't worry. I try not, or I do, but I try not to worry about the future because that version of me doesn't exist yet. I don't know him, and I try not to worry about the past because that version of me doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know him, you know. And I could ramble on and on. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's just, you know, the best way I could teach myself with no help from the outside on how to, because even being to therapy and whatnot, seeing psychologists, blah blah blah, they're not gonna tell you shit like this. They're gonna tell you the shit that they know by the book. I mean, which they do reinforce, you know, like practicing good behaviors and appreciating, you know, every aspect of your life. But they're not gonna tell you like the down and dirty. Like I used to want to off myself. I tried a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, and it just makes me appreciate. Suck my dick is crazy. It makes me appreciate life just way more. It makes it possible to be present in the moment because in the past I wasn't able to. You know, it may not make sense to some of you, but it just it's a practice thing. You have to practice, practice, practice. You'll never you'll never have the answers for everything in life, but you damn sure can help yourself, you know, figuring out some of it. And this video is kind of shitty, I know, but it's something I kind of just wanted to talk about. I think it's gonna wrap it up right here. I'll try to think of some more things. If I can't think of anything, I'll just post it. Why not? Yeah, it's been the Super Dumbass Kid. Appreciate y'all. I will see y'all soon. Peace.